Let me ask you something, and answer this honestly. How many times have you checked your phone today, not because you needed something, but because you wanted to be seen? A like, a reply, a notification that tells you matter. And if it didn't come, you felt it. That quiet disappointment, that heavy feeling in your chest. Here's the painful truth no one likes to admit. Chasing validation is slowly destroying your life, and most people don't even realize it's happening. It starts small. You post something and wait. You dress a certain way so people notice. You say yes when you want to say no just to avoid being disliked. At first, it feels harmless, normal even. But over time, something dangerous happens. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and you start asking, "What will they approve of?" That's when you lose yourself. I learned this the hard way. There was a time when my mood depended entirely on external reactions. If people praised me, I felt confident. If they ignored me, I felt invisible. My worth was no longer internal, it was outsourced. And that's the trap. Because when your value depends on others, you are never free. You are always performing, always adjusting, always afraid of disappointing someone. Social media makes this worse. You scroll and see people winning, perfect bodies, perfect couples, perfect lifestyles. And without realizing it, your brain whispers, "You're not enough." But let me tell you something important. Most of what you see is not real life. It's a highlight reel, a performance, a carefully curated image designed to earn attention. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's best moments and calling yourself a failure for it. That's not motivation. That's self-destruction. And here's what chasing validation actually does to your mindset. It makes you afraid to be honest, afraid to be different, afraid to fail publicly. So you play it safe. You shrink. You stop taking risks. You stop building the life you actually want because it might not be approved of. You start living for applause instead of peace. And applause is addictive, but it never lasts. The moment the attention fades, so does your confidence. So you chase it again. Post more, do more, prove more. It's exhausting. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Validation feels good, but it weakens you. Why? Because it teaches your brain that your worth is conditional. You are valuable only if you're admired. You matter only if you're noticed. That belief will ruin your happiness faster than failure ever could. So how do you break free? First, you need to change your mindset. Stop asking, "Do they like me?" Start asking, "Do I respect myself?" Because self-respect builds confidence that doesn't disappear when the room goes quiet. Second, change your habits. If the first thing you do every morning is check your phone, you're starting your day by handing your power to strangers. Create before you consume. Write something. Pray. Move your body. Work on your goals. Do something that builds your life before the world judges it. Third, clean your environment. Unfollow anything that makes you feel small. Mute voices that constantly trigger comparison. Not because they're bad, but because your mind needs protection. You don't owe anyone access to your attention. And finally, change how you measure progress. Stop measuring success by likes, followers, praise, or approval. Measure it by growth. Are you more honest than you were last year? More disciplined? More at peace? More aligned with who you truly are? That's real progress. Let me say this clearly. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to perform for validation. Your life is not an audition.
The most powerful people are not the most admired. They're the most grounded. They know who they are, even when no one is watching. And here's the final painful truth. The life you want is on the other side of letting go of validation. When you stop chasing approval, you gain clarity. When you stop performing, you gain peace. When you stop proving, you start living. So close the app for a moment, sit with yourself, and ask, if no one was watching, who would I choose to be? That answer, not the applause, is where your real life begins. You're not invisible. You're not behind. You're just done living for others. And that's not weakness. That's